So my husband and I decided to open Jasmine's Grill and Cantina here in Gaston. We already have a business, it's Jasmine's Lopez Agency. So here Gaston was the best place to open a second business. Exchange Bank made this really, really easy. I thought it was gonna be a really hard process, but they were so nice, so sweet, and they explained everything by detail. And as you can see, they helped me make all this possible. It was really easy and they were always there. They were just a good phone.
Clinic 5 Addiction Recovery. Addiction doesn't look like you think.
My name is Brittany. I'm a person just like you are, except for I am a recovering addict. I found hope and I found healing here at Clinic 5 with the help of the amazing staff and doctors. I see my future bright. I actually see a future now.
Clinic 5 Addiction Recovery. Addiction doesn't look like you think. Call 256-952-2709 or visit us online at clinic5.com.
Well, welcome. It's that time of month. Joe Taylor Show. What's up, Jerry?
That may be the most fitting introduction to a Mayor Joe Taylor show there's ever been.
But he ain't here.
And that's why. But instead, we have someone with class, sophistication. Mr. Jameson Jenkins, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my gosh. This has been a long time in the making.
A long time. 2 years, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Then
Yes.
your schedule. So I appreciate you changing jobs just so you could be on the show.
I did it just for you.
You know? Before we get into it, man, how's the family?
Family's doing good.
Yeah.
Wife's very busy. She actually just got back from New York City this past weekend on a bachelorette trip. So that was my first week being solo dad. And I can tell you all this, I have a brand new appreciation for my wife. Because Thursday morning, trying to get myself dressed, a chocolate lab dress for work, and my son out the door, we looked like a 3-ring circus.
Sorry we missed that.
That is outstanding.
Hey, just so you know, the Camp Yancey's watching.
Hello, sir.
The Camp Yancey.
Still haven't seen that driver yet. He talks about that thing, but I ain't never seen it.
What does he tell you about
I don't
it?
think he has one.
Joe
Joe was hammering him about his golf game it's not gonna be helped by his new driver.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the driver? What did he say he got?
I forgot. Was it the smoke?
Was it the AI? Is it AI?
Yeah, I think
something
the
like
AI
that?
smoke,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. We still ain't seen that. I don't believe it.
See, Joe felt so bad for me.
Hey, put your microphone over the great mayor
Oh, I
said.
got you covered.
Just like you're at city council.
Can you hear me now?
Just
Mayor?
like you're at city
Just
council.
for you. Joe actually felt so bad for me. He bought a new driver that was supposed to correct a slice, and the first time that I hit with it, he said, "Just keep that in your bag. If I need another one, I'll buy it." So it maybe the driver can help. Maybe there's some
There's
truth
no
to that.
question the driver can help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have faith in Camp.
That's nice.
But you kind of have to, right? Especially
I do
especially if
kinda
you guys are going against the fire department.
That is true.
That's,
We are united in that way.
It's good.
Uh-oh. Looks like the mistress is on.
Uh-oh.
She says hi.
The first lady of the Jenkins household.
Joe and Claire together on this is not a good thing
Oh,
at all. Y'all know they're a duo.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, well, the stories probably don't do justice.
Well,
Just the fact how uncomfortable you are right now.
yeah. I can imagine.
I'm winning the show. This show's great.
But when you get Miss First Lady from Rainbow City, she's on your side.
She is on my side.
Yeah.
Oh, when you get us out together, when we're on a double date or something, it's me and Rachel versus Joe and Claire.
That's what
every time.
That's the way it should be.
Every time.
the way it
It's
should be.
healthy.
And Rachel wins.
Rachel always wins.
So is it a draw, though? Because Claire,
No, we're not. We're gonna say no.
Rachel wins.
We're gonna say no.
You know why? She's from Itala.
Yeah, she is from Itala.
So it's always
fact.
that way. So everyone, of course, is going to want to know how your partner's doing.
Yeah, partner's doing good. So I just moved jobs a couple of months ago. I moved to investigations at the sheriff's office. So my partner Millie is still working. She still gets to work with me every day. That's the most common question I get asked.
Sure.
Is does Millie still come to work with you every day? Millie is still a full-time employee at the sheriff's office, and it's actually worked out great because Millie now works in DHR adoption hearings in probate court
Wow.
in Etowah County a couple of days a week, typically. So we entered into a new partnership with Judge Hassel.
That's awesome.
So anything that they need in probate court, she's available as a resource. And it's been really cool. We actually did it almost kind of as a trial basis. This is something that the sheriff and Judge Hassel and I have been wanting to do for a very long time. And so the first adoption hearing that we did, the kids actually got down in the floor with Millie and we're just hanging out with her the whole time while the hearing was going on.
That's cool.
So after that, Judge Hassel and the sheriff and I discussed it, and we knew that we had to make it work. So that's been a game changer, and me being in investigations has really allowed for Millie to do even more work.
That's
So
so
it's
good.
been awesome.
Where does she keep her gun?
She keeps it in my desk drawer until we need it.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
if we have to
Yeah.
go out and do something serious now, she will tote it on her vest.
I was
But
hoping she was
Sharpshooter.
going to come and just be right here.
Just
Right.
land.
she's
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
ratings.
what
Yeah.
we do.
Yes.
We need ratings, my friend.
We
So,
do.
so how is it making the transition from school? Everybody knows you, school resource officer, city
Mm-hmm.
councilman, but how's that transition been?
So it was tough. So being at the same school for going on 5 school years,
Yeah.
you could imagine the school becomes your family.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you spend more time with those people than you do your own family.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they treat you so well and you've been there for so long, you know, not just the staff, but the students and their parents and their families, you know, you make all these connections. So leaving that is really difficult. But I do think that being in a school before going to investigations is very helpful, because being an investigator, we're always going to be at the worst things that happen in our county, right? Naturally. And so I think if you have the ability to talk to children and have experience dealing with them in a very traumatic situation, being in a school, I think that's been a really valuable asset for me, because I've already encountered that since
Yeah.
I've been in investigations. But it was definitely a tough transition leaving.
So 5 years, so you're seeing a kid go from kindergarten to 4th grade.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's you think of it like that, and you've seen these kids grow up and
Yeah, for
find
sure.
out who they're going to be and spend a lot of attentions with them. Cam said he just clicked on to see Millie.
Well, Millie's not here.
So I can also see where being a school resource officer would be very helpful during Rainbow City Council.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's especially with that Jeff Prince guy.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
I mean, you have to constantly keep one on him, just behind the thing. He's got that gun drawn on you, son. Don't think
So
it ain't.
funny. So you wear multiple hats, right? You do so much, and a new dad. I say new dad until the kid's driving. You're a new dad. That's kind of
Yeah.
the way it is.
Which will also be here very soon.
Before you know it,
Yeah.
Tall enough to drive, right?
Yeah, he is. He's,
Take our word for it.
2 in May, and I was saying he's 3 feet tall.
they're wearing the
He's
same
very
hat
good boy.
size.
Well, if you look at how big his head is, Joe's going to tell you he gets that from me. 100%. That comes from that all day.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was one thing I pray for my kids and grandkids. God, please don't let her be like me. Please,
That's-
Jesus.
Oh,
Dude, that's what your daughter was saying too.
Yes, please, Lord.
I cannot deny him, y'all. He looks just like me. I mean, if you look at pictures of him as a baby and me,
Oh,
there's
that's
no
awesome.
separation between the two at all.
So,
That's great.
city council. Let's switch hats over there. We'll get back to Jonathan and some stuff you guys are doing
Yeah.
at the Etowah County Sheriff's Department. what got you wanting to serve at that level as well?
So I studied political science in college at Auburn. The whole time that I was in college, I never would have thought that I would use my degree. Honestly, I actually.
That's not a knock at Auburn, people. Calm down. Calm down.
At all. War Eagle. I truthfully started out in engineering at Auburn. And I got into engineering physics 2. And I remember the first day of that class, I was like, there's no way that I can endure 2 more years of this. I just can't do it. I did not like it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a bachelor's degree, and I'm going to get it in something that I really enjoy so that I can have fun doing this and enjoy my college experience. And so I really, truthfully, never thought I would use my degree, but I've always had a keen interest in politics. And when I say not use my degree, specifically for what I studied, maybe.
Sure.
My mindset was. So I made the move to political science, immediately loved it. Loved every part of it, loved all my classes, but still, I never thought that I would use it. And I always thought that I would stay in Auburn when I was in college. So I graduate from college, had a job at Alabama Power. I was working at Auburn Athletics, loved it.
Living the dream.
Ended up, God had different things in mind, and I ended up moving back home to Etowah County, back to Rainbow City. Got a job at the sheriff's office. The sheriff was, fortunate enough to have a relationship with him, and started working here and immediately fell in love with it. So I drove by City Hall all the time, and I knew that the election was coming up. I didn't know how soon, but I knew it was quick. Well, I actually went into City Hall on the very last day that you could qualify. 15 minutes before Beth Lee was going to lock the clerk's office. That is a true story. Beth and I actually talked about this last night and qualified, and I have no doubt it was a God thing.
Sure.
Crazy that I qualified in the last 15 minutes and then ended up where I am, but that's how I ended up there.
Some may say political science is the perfect field to go into, to politics, the backstab and all that, and you go Church of the Highlands. So I can see where that is just like the perfect.
Had to work it in.
He did say he was going to throw it in there.
You're welcome.
He did say he was going to throw it in
I
there.
asked first to make sure it was okay, though.
He did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I always blame
I thought it was Chris Hodge.
Chris
Hodge called.
It's my
Sorry,
dad saying,
Pastor.
Tell Jerry to stop. That's what he's saying right now.
That's so funny.
That's great.
But let's talk. Since we're talking Auburn, let's talk about Church of the Highlands, because you got very involved at the church when you were in Auburn, and it was a smooth transition.
Yeah, sure.
Talk about that.
So I grew up here, going to Meadowbrook, and then when I moved,
Shout out Jamie Grant.
shout out Jamie Grant and brother Randy Gunner.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
And when I went to Auburn, I started looking for a church, and so visited several churches: Auburn First Baptist, Lakewood, Lakeview, several different ones. And when I first went to Highlands, I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be okay with how this is structured. Never been anything like that. And my grandparents actually grew up at Bethlehem Baptist Church on Sardis Road in Boaz. So grew up with Wayne Wright preaching all the time. I was like,
That's a name for the past, man.
Oh, yeah. So that's actually my grandmother's family.
Oh, wow.
So Wayne
Okay.
and my grandmother's family, they're all related. So you could imagine growing up in that kind of church.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not going to work. And so, but my first service I went, man, I fell in love with it. And then when I came back home, the Gadsden campus for Church of the Highlands had been established. And my wife and I actually, crazy enough, we didn't know each other in high school. Even though we graduated the same year, she went to Glencoe. We were right there together, and we did not know each other at all. So we met after I moved home. Well, she had gone to Highlands in Tuscaloosa when she was in college. So then when we moved back home, we joined the Gadsden campus, and my wife is a leader in Highlands Kids there and oversees some other people there. It's just been awesome to see, and I serve on the security team there. So our church
Makes
family
sense.
has been
Seems like a fit.
awesome.
Well, they pick you like for what you're good at. If you were doing the door greeter and Joey Statham was doing security, it just wouldn't work.
Bad.
It wouldn't work.
Bad.
Can you imagine?
Morning, Samuel Ray.
Barney Fife in the making right there is what that brother was. I mean, my God.
I will say though, now he is. If you see him at church now, he's keeping a lookout.
There's no question.
Sure
He's
he is.
mobile. He's very mobile.
And speaking of Joey, he's kindly asking for your votes in Southside.
Anyway,
I know
some would say that's why he goes to Highlands. Somebody said that.
Was it?
What?
Huh?
No, man,
No.
that's just a
No.
just because there was one country club comment
You didn't
Never
say
said
that.
about
no.
the. No, I didn't. No. I said, but if you want a good business opportunity, you go hobnob. You can't afford the membership at the Guys Country Club.
Oh.
You go to the Church of Highlands.
I mean, it's just a little less, though. Right?
Not much.
Not much. Not much.
So do you have to give your W-2s when you decide? That's a different story. That's a different. That's a different story.
They auto deduct your
Sorry,
time,
Joe.
so it's okay. It's all right.
Sorry.
Just set it up on auto pay.
And so, do you have to tip too at the end of the
Oh, here we
service?
It's included.
Oh,
It's included.
They do at Meadowbrook if you get coffee from Jamie Grant.
man, you got you. That's that good.
He stands out
That's
there.
that
Did he
good.
tell you
Little,
all that? Yeah.
that's that good little Burton coffee.
That's what that is.
Interesting fact. Speaking of, we're talking about tipping here because that's how the show goes. We're everywhere. So, my wife decided she wanted a waffle the other night out of the blue.
Say it again.
Waffle.
Oh.
So we go to, of course, the Waffle House. That's
The
what we do.
Waffle
House.
The Waffle House,
Okay.
close to the Walmart in Tyler. You know, the Walmart's the Waffle House.
Best
We go in
Waffle
there.
House, by the way.
It is. Shout out Debbie McGraw.
Hello, Miss
Best
Debbie.
Waffle House.
So we're in there. They're packed, man. They're just unbelievably busy. So they seat us, and you got the little menu there. Don't need to look at the menu. You know what we want. She wants waffle and bacon, right? So I noticed in the top right hand corner it says 20% gratuity will be added on all to-go orders. 10% goes to the server, and 10% is a fee. That's got COVID written all over. That's been there since 2020.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And they left it.
That's an outdated policy.
They left it. Sorry. So I don't get Waffle House to go though. I mean, if I'm there, I want to go.
Did
hang
you
out.
get chili?
For the experience.
I didn't. I got a waffle with pecans and sugar-free syrup.
You gotta get peanut butter chips.
Those are good.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm the pecan man. I don't get it very rarely.
I'm allergic.
Probably 3. So you shouldn't get it. You should get
I
it.
should not get it. Funny enough, talking about the tree nut allergy, Joe and I were at the beach. I don't even remember what month it was, not long ago, for a conference for city council. And that was the most recent allergic reaction I had had. I thought I was going to have to call them at 2
So
o'clock.
I mean, you're like EpiPen
Oh, yeah.
allergic.
I
And,
should carry an EpiPen. It gets worse every time, you know. But what was crazy was Joe and I went to dinner that night. Didn't know the dessert had pecans in it. I only took like one bite of it. And Joe actually was the one that was like, hey, you can't eat any more of this. Well, nothing happened. So then in the middle of the night, I have an allergic reaction. I didn't even know it was possible to have a delayed allergic reaction. But
it takes time to work in it.
Wow.
So Joe Taylor, the great mayor of this city, saved your life.
He kind of did.
No. He saved your life.
Okay, let's not say that though.
Did you have an EpiPen? You didn't taste it?
Joe
You
Taylor.
saved his life, Joe.
I don't need this.
Woo!
This is bad.
That's my mayor.
You can't.
That's my mayor.
You don't think he's got that in his breast
Oh,
pocket?
he would take
It's
care
just-
of me.
In his
now.
to-go bag?
Yes,
In his
he's
go
got-
bag?
he's
I
gonna
said
pull
to-go
that
bag
out.
like it's the Waffle House. His go bag? He's got it.
You pull that
He's
out
got
in
it
a
covered.
minute. Cards like a mug. Right, Joe? Did he say? Oh, really?
He said Jamie was on traffic control Sunday.
He said he was doing valet for tips.
Anything for tips.
I ain't mad at it. Times are tough.
You got to hustle out here.
Hey, but hopefully now with our new regime in DC that things get better.
How's that? Speaking of that, going back and forth to policies, being a sheriff's deputy or a detective now. How does that immigration that affects you guys a lot,
absolutely
right?
it does. So I know the sheriff, I think he discussed with y'all a little bit when he was on the show about ICE. And he did release publicly, that we're in conversations with ICE.
Yep, he said that.
So it's crazy to think about, like you're talking about, how what happens in D.C. has a direct effect on what happens in Etowah County, Alabama. So yeah, when all this works out, when it plays out, ICE coming back, it has a huge impact on us. So, we're starting off with everything going the way that's going as a short-term facility. So what that would mean is we wouldn't do transports and things of that nature. What we used to be was a long-term facility. And he also released that publicly, that the hope is that in the future we'll go back to a long-term facility. So what that means is, like, they come in to be held at the Etowah County Jail. When they have to go to Atlanta, like, we're the ones taking them. So instead of ICE doing it, they pay us to do it. So it's beneficial for the federal government because obviously we're here locally. They don't have to send anybody. We have the resources. And then it's financially beneficial for the county. So it's really a win-win for the federal government and the county. But it does have a huge impact on us. And who's in office in D.C. obviously plays a major part in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what's going to Atlanta? What's a half a day's gig, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's not like it's so far. You're not having to get a hotel and all those extra costs. You're to and fro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Joe Taylor, man, he's next level.
He is next level.
Something about you almost fell out of your bassinet.
Do y'all know what Joe's arch nemesis is? I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. Do y'all have any idea what it is?
I got
a guess.
I got a guess.
One of his arch nemesis.
What would you?
If we talk about a person,
it's not a person.
oh, I got a person. That's his arch
it's
nemesis.
his lack of ability to do something. I know that's surprising to y'all because he can do just about anything. It's parking. The man cannot park a car. I'm serious, y'all. It's bad.
Well, that's why he jumped out of an airplane.
The man can jump out of an airplane in the middle of a jungle, but you put some white lines on some asphalt, he's done. I'm telling y'all, he can't do it. He can't do it. You ride by City Hall one time and look at that city vehicle. He cannot do it. Those white lines freak him out. He cannot do it.
You know, he comes here to empty parking lot twice a month.
He
and
does.
He can't, you're right. He doesn't hit them spots.
No, he don't. Mm-hmm. He can't do it.
Now, here's really what it is. He just doesn't like to be told what to do. So those white lines are suggestions.
That is true. It could have something to do with some stubbornness.
Does he put a sticker on that says, I'm the mayor?
He don't have to.
Or is that Larry? Sorry.
He just tells you.
I'm the mayor. Sorry, Uncle Larry. Love you, buddy. This show could go
do
with
that.
so
We need to
many-
mark his car. When we go by, when we
Check
ride
the
by,
tires.
we'll do that when he gets
We
back.
do a video
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. So you're not the one to be teaching driving school,
No.
Mayor Taylor.
Definitely not parking. Now, and if it's parallel and we even see him try to slow down, we're like, no. You got, brother, you got to go. You got to go.
So he's going to buy the car that parks for him.
Oh, he needs it.
That's it.
He needs
just
it.
sit back.
The city, certainly the city could get him a vehicle with that kind of capability, right?
I mean,
The man can drive a tank.
I mean, right? Oh my gosh!
He also parks it wherever he wants to.
When you bring Millie in to do those type of services, what does that do to the kid that maybe that used to go to the office or I have two adopted children, so it's very special to me.
Yeah.
When we were there, Jenkins was there to do our adoption for our kids, and he was a family friend, and it was a very special thing. But I think it'd be much more special too. I mean, he was giving out teddy bears and stuff, and Bibles and stuff. But how does a kid react when they're having some trauma? What does that do to that baby when they see a dog that just lets them hug on them?
So, funny enough, Bobby and Susie Jenkins are actually mine and Claire's next door neighbors.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're very close friends of ours, been super good to us. And Judge and I have actually talked a lot about this just in the driveway, about this program. But you think about these kids, especially with law enforcement, right? Mm-hmm. At no fault of their own, there's a good chance if we're in a DHR adoption hearing that they already have a perceived negative view toward law enforcement, right?
Sure.
And so when they come in and they see me with a chocolate lab who's dying to get over there and love on these kids who they can pet, it breaks down all those barriers, right? So the courtroom naturally is a very nerve-wracking place, especially for a young kid. Mm-hmm. And I just wish that everybody could see it firsthand. When those kids walk in that room and they realize that dog is going to stay in here with me for this hearing, it changes their whole mindset.
Sure.
Everything about the situation in there changes, and they break down all the barriers. And they're not even focused on the adoption hearing. All they're focused on is that chocolate lab. So it allows them to get through it with their parents being in there without having to even focus on that.
And she's loving it too, isn't she?
Oh, she loves it. And she's so good at what she does. I'm telling you, that dog, she was born for what she does.
Hey, Jeff, would you want to read that comment by Samuel Ray?
Let me see if I can put it on the screen too for everybody to see.
Then,
make sure he spells everything right.
Then Officer Jenkins can comment on it.
Sure.
All right, it says the elderly cannot help. They can't see the lines very well. You guys be nice. Trying to take up for his friend. Is that what he's doing?
Vision could play a role in it, honestly. I do think that vision could play a role in it. He can't see or hear now.
Uh-oh.
So, I mean,
because Rachel's yelling at him all the time.
We're losing a lot of senses here. His smell has got to be ridiculously strong. Because, they say as you lose a sense.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, think about it. His nose, that thing's got to be working. They say with each sense you lose, the others get stronger.
Look, I was set up to ask that question. I didn't put my glasses on. That's on me. I should have known better.
How good was it to see Sammy Ray in church?
It was very, very good.
I missed that dude,
Yeah,
man.
what
So
good guy.
it's political season.
It is political season.
So let's talk about some of the ins and outs of the upcoming election in our great city.
Yeah, so our election will be coming up this August. Qualifying will begin, I believe, it's June 10th this year.
Don't wait till 15 minutes before.
Don't
Do
wait
yourself
till
a
15
favor.
minutes before. Beth Lee will take care of you. I can speak from personal experience on
Yeah.
that, but I would advise getting ahead of the game on that and not
Yeah.
doing what I did. And then it runs through, I believe it's June the 24th. The Secretary of State's website has a full calendar that breaks down all those dates. And then our election, of course, will be in August. But yeah, it's definitely big time election season.
Golly, man. I mean, you Rachel, you got to do something about him having a keyboard in his hand. I think he needs to go back to. Remember that? What's that phone we used to sell? It was for elderly folks. It's just a flip phone, but we
forgot.
called it something. It had the big numbers on
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, is it a jitterbug? That's what he
Jitterbug or
needs.
something like that.
That's what Joe needs. He needs to be waking up every
We're gonna
morning
have-
singing jitterbug.
The data's gonna have to go. City, you're gonna take the data away from him.
That's
It
what
just.
he needs.
Should I put that comment on the screen? I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it
no.
ride.
It's political
We'll show that
season.
to you.
You
in a
can't do
minute.
that. You can't do that.
Good gravy. So is Rainbow City is it at large, like with the city council? So
It
it's
is. So the way that works is Alabama state law establishes how all that works. So for us, when our population breaks 12,000, we would
Won't
go
be long.
into a district system. So anything below 12,000 is at large.
Okay.
And it's based on the census. So when a census is conducted, that's where that number comes from, and then it doesn't go into effect until the next term.
I see.
So if you were in the middle of a term while a census
Sure,
was conducted, it
sure.
wouldn't change right then. It would be the next
So that would be
term.
another 6 years before Rainbow City's counted again, is it, or 4 years?
It'll be, well, yeah, it's done every 10.
Every 10 years,
Yeah,
so.
it'll be another 6.
6 years, yeah.
So-
Okay. And then it wouldn't go in effect till the
The
next.
term. Because
Wow.
what they don't, if they conduct a census and you go over 12,000, obviously you could have 2 people who are actively serving on the council who live in the same district, depending on how you draw those lines.
Then you got to
So
work that out. Yeah.
That's why they wait.
Makes sense. So that very well could be.
Heck yeah.
What is
It's
Rainbow
very
City? Is it
possible.
10,000? A little over 10,000.
Last population, we were at 10,191. Last population count for the
That's
census.
very possible.
so-
6 years.
Yeah,
That's gonna be-
I could see that happening easily.
Oh,
Actually.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. We're definitely on the cusp of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I can't wait to get the list to see who I was running. I've been told some different things, but I'm waiting for the official
Really?
list.
The real deal.
Yeah, there's no sense. I mean, this show.
And you said that was when?
So qualifying will be in June,
Okay.
and then our election will actually be
Yeah.
in August.
I mean, because we're about facts on this show.
Are you going to
we-
sign
we-
up?
we
Are
will.
you going to put your name in the hat?
No, God no.
Why?
Only way I'm running is
Joe's
somebody's
asked
chasing
you.
me.
Well, that's true.
I ain't running for nothing.
Only way is what?
Somebody's chasing me.
Oh,
That's the only way I'm running.
yeah. And even then, depends on who's chasing.
Yeah, it's gonna take a
He
few
may
steps.
just stop and turn around.
I want you to be
Yeah,
a
I-
little bit scared.
Yeah, no, I don't much be doing any running. No, well, here's the thing. Yeah, I seriously considered running. Ever.
Nancy for police chief.
We talk about it. You know, we talked about if I felt there was a need and I could improve, I think it's a great council.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do not. Yeah, there's no reason.
We
In
have
my
a great
opinion,
group.
not that I would win anyway, but the fact is, well, you guys call somebody out now. That's what you do. Like, I want to run against so and so.
So we have places, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
So when you go to qualify, you have to declare which place you're going to run in. Even though every place runs at large,
Sure.
they have to divide those
So-
up.
So
Okay.
you're basically calling somebody
You're calling
out.
somebody out.
I mean-
I want to beat so and
I
so.
always try to look at it this way: as I'm not running against you, I'm running for this.
I wouldn't
That's-
do it.
that's
I'd be
how
calling
I
somebody
see it.
out. I would be
Well,
running
And
against.
that's the politician.
I would be running against somebody, and it would be great.
Yes, and he would not. He
I
would
was-
totally be opposite than you.
I
He-
wasn't a 4-man race, so it was busy.
That's challenging, I would guess.
It was very challenging.
Yeah.
So I ended up in a runoff in my first election. So and then that seat actually was the only seat that went to a runoff because we had 4 people.
Sure.
So
That makes sense.
because you have to attain over 50% of the vote as one candidate in
Yeah.
order to avoid a runoff.
How'd that feel
Which is
to
really hard to do.
run in your first election and win it?
So it was crazy because, and some people don't even know this, but I was actually in police academy during the campaign and during the election. So, and I went to Northeast Alabama Law Enforcement Academy. So it's a residential academy. So you stay there.
So you mean hell? That's where my kid
we
went. He's
we could translate it to that for parts of it for sure. So I'm going down on Sunday nights, late as possible, and then staying until Thursday night, and then coming home Thursday night. So really, I only had Friday, Saturday, go get the uniforms pressed, hit the road on Sunday. So
did you ever forget something and had to get your family member to bring it to you?
Now that I'm running the academy, because that's big no. There may have been times where I had to have something left by a tree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it happens.
You roll up to that lodge, make sure everybody's inside.
You know where the tree. Oh yeah, and you're sitting out there scoping out
taking
the whole
tennis
time.
shoes and
Where are
putting
the
them out.
instructors?
I'm sure it's statute of limitations.
We're past
you're
that.
good. You're
We're
good.
past that. I paid my push-ups.
That's
I will say that.
outstanding.
I paid
One of my favorite conversations is
That's
Jeff
great.
calling me just upset, just venting for
Right.
30 minutes. I can't believe this idiot.
Oh, yeah.
I got to let you go. I got to sneak in.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I go to bed at 8:30, and that brother called about 10. Oh my
Freaking
gosh!
out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, he knew the push-ups were
the
coming.
PT man. He's got to have those tennis shoes, and that brother, all he took was his boots, right?
Yeah.
So guess what I'm doing?
Yeah, no,
So
it's
you're welcome.
You want to make sure that you have everything that you need by the time you get down there. I promise you
It
that.
makes
And I went during COVID.
Oh,
So, there's like a third of the people there because everybody has to have their own room. So hiding or sneaking out was a lot more difficult back in that day.
wow, that
You
would've
had to
been-
make sure.
Shoot. So you had COVID, police academy, running for an election,
And
It was
won.
all together.
all of,
It was wild. It really was. It
That's
really was.
insane.
But we worked hard now. I mean, we
I'm
really
sure,
did.
sure you did.
We worked really hard. I didn't sleep, like, realistically at all for, like, weeks. Especially when we got into runoff time, 'cause, then, I mean, it's all out. I mean, it takes a lot of work. Especially to get people to turn out for a runoff election. Because when you only have one spot, it's hard to get people to show up at the polls.
So your bride says, tell them how you got your uniforms ironed every week.
She did take care of me on the uniforms. I will say that. Heavy starch. She took care of that.
So he did say, rewind this, Claire, when you go back, because he did say, get his uniforms pressed, but he didn't say.
He didn't say credit for it.
No, I didn't say that I pressed them.
He
Now,
didn't say credit
We can
for
roll
it.
the tape back.
He didn't say
I
credit.
didn't say that I pressed them.
But he
My
didn't say he
wife,
didn't.
And to this day, she still takes care of me.
Words matter.
Usually, whatever I have on,
That's
is
true.
what she
Details
laid
matter.
out.
Details matter.
That is true.
That's awesome.
Man, that's crazy. So this time it'll be. Do you know of anybody yet that have the words out there that, hey, these guys are running for this, or these guys are running for mayor, or is there any rumors out there?
We haven't heard anything official. I do think that this morning Trey Brinkley, that ran in place 5
Yeah.
last time, I
Yeah,
think
I remember Trey.
he's thrown out some intentions to run
Okay.
in place 5 again. But other than that, we haven't seen anything official. I think that's actually out on Facebook now.
Oh, okay, maybe.
But we haven't. Other than that, we haven't heard anything official.
Oh, she said, "Oh my goodness, no! I meant at the dry cleaner so they would stand up straight." And then she's crying.
Well, but everything else though, she took care of those. See, when you take them to the dry cleaners and put heavy starch on there, this is the thing about police academy. All these other guys, or a lot of them, every night they're sitting in their room re-ironing. And I'm like, guys, all you got to do is go to Pippin and Gadsden and get the heavy starch.
Yeah,
man.
man.
They'll take care of you. Because when I picked them up, you could stand them straight up.
That's how I like my dress.
That's how you need them,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the academy. You got to keep them pressed.
See?
I do think though that Claire took care of ironing them sometimes when I couldn't make it to the dry cleaner.
Sure, she did. Sure, she did.
She's a great woman.
She is.
No question.
That's why it's the starch.
That's
That
the
that is why his career took off so
It was the
quickly.
starch.
It's the starch.
It's the starch.
It's the starch. I may have to change my dry cleaner. I just dropped some off yesterday. I ain't gonna say where. I may have to go to Pippin. They still open?
They're still open.
I know where.
$2.13 for a button down.
I know where you
I think
didn't.
it was $28 for
I know you
8 shirts.
where you didn't drop it off at.
Yeah, I know. I know.
They're close.
It's so difficult to get in and out there, man. It's so difficult.
Pippin.
No.
No. As soon as I leave today, I have to take one of my wife's jackets to drop them off there. And the whole time as I got in the car, I'm like, man, I ain't getting in and out of there.
It's awful.
It's horrible getting in and out of there.
Yeah.
Look, I ain't gonna say where, but just
Lightning in
just
Rainbow City, right
move.
by Martin's.
And you
Lightning
got
right
enough
there.
money. We know who you are, Jason. You got enough
Jason
money.
Wilson.
Move it.
Jason Wilson knows that I don't take my clothes there because I've been going to Pippin for forever. They're close family friends of ours.
Yeah, we
So-
love
Jason don't get nothing
So-
starched.
No, he ain't
Star. He don't even get it washed.
You know, that's what you got to be an ambassador for your brand.
That's
you know?
what I'm
like,
like.
brother, put some starch on there.
I mean,
No,
Dang.
because his is the before picture. Hey, his hat.
Is that what it is?
His hats look good.
So who's
He
the
doesn't-
after?
Everybody else.
Anybody
You?
else?
His hat's on point though.
He does
Okay,
got good.
that's always
Except
on
for when he
point.
wears. I don't like him when he wears those low hats, the ones that collapse kind of on his head.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah.
You know, now he looks. You look good in the fitted. What's it? It's a.
He does a lot
Most
of
people
flat
can't pull
bill.
off flat bills, and you can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, he
Jason.
can.
Yeah.
I'm a hat guy, so
we love
I'm
Jason,
impressed
man.
with his hat collection.
He does have a lot
Always.
of them. I'm impressed that all the ridicule he got his first term about wearing a hat, he never took it off. He kept only to the
yeah.
pledge and the prayer.
No.
That's all he does.
No, and if you hear him explain why he does it, you know, it really makes sense. You know, there's that whole story about when he was in D.C. and getting approached. I mean, like I said, I'm a hat guy, but you know, Joe runs a tight ship. So
No hats during
I
the.
came in one time to a city council meeting, and he was like, "You need to go back to the car. It's not gonna work." So,
I just know when Trent Thrasher's there, y'all don't make Trent take his hat off.
yeah,
that's
you know
true.
about the tie story too, don't you? The night
No.
we were sworn in,
Uh-uh.
talking about Joe staying on me. So we all, and I didn't know Joe as well as I do now. Of course, now he's one of my best friends. But we go in to get sworn in that night, and I didn't have a tie on. And he said, "Are you not going to wear a tie?" And I said, "Well, I brought one in the truck." I said, "But I kind of like the no tie look for this tonight." And he said, "No, you need to go back to the truck and get the tie." So I go back, get the tie, go in there, tie the tie. He comes in. Of course, you know, he always gives me a hard time. And as serious as he could say it, he said, "See, you look 6 months older." It's like, so this is how this is going to go. And the heat has not stopped since. He stays on me all the time.
And he has not stopped now. He says that, let's just say it out loud, Claire, Rachel, and I made Jameson the adolescent he is today. So
They did have to do with my raisin.
He also said that we should bring in a couple redback hymnals for you that you could sit on today.
he don't use redback hymnals anymore. You know he left Sand
Yeah,
Mountain. He
you
don't
know
go to that
that.
church no more.
No, his words on the screen. Sit on that TV. Sorry.
I swear. It's going to go off the rails even further in the next 5 minutes.
No, it's not, man.
Certainly
no,
it
it's
is.
not. You know why? Because he's one of the people that can take it.
Oh,
does.
absolutely.
I tell you.
What was the story about the plane story? You and Joe.
Which one?
Okay.
That's
See,
a great
I told
story,
you.
by the way. That is a.
Me and
Was it-
Joe have got several
was it a-
stories.
was it-
was it involving a suitcase?
One might say.
One might say. There was one time I remember I was over the weight limit. See? Yep. I knew where y'all were going with this. Yeah, y'all would have laughed. Me and Joe were in the middle of the airport trying to repack that thing. Oh, it was awful.
I
It
can
was-
see it now.
It was awful. Just imagine.
Is he dogging you the whole time?
The whole time, just right in my ear. I've got this sweet American Airlines attendant, you know, doing everything she can. I think I was like 5 pounds over. It wasn't that big of a deal. I've got a backpack with me, obviously. I'm on the ground trying to take stuff out of the suitcase, put it in the backpack. Joe's just giving me down the road the whole time. And that's what I deal with all the time, you know?
It's so fun.
Just
And that's what makes you a great team.
Well, that's where my character comes from. The character building is mostly from him.
There's Cody Lasser.
Uh-oh.
Where's Joe? The beach? Question mark.
Joe is representing us
He
at
was?
the EDAA in Montgomery, Alabama.
He had to be closer to it to get. Yeah,
Sure.
just-
Driving back and forth.
It makes
It's a little bit
sense.
fun. You know, he's probably staying down there at the beach house.
Sure.
I call it the shack.
It's just
You know,
a shack.
It's okay.
I mean,
It's got a bedroom or two. He did put air conditioning.
I'm going to
in
stop you because I'm going to stop you.
there. Ah.
Okay, right? Because this is the Mayor Joe Taylor show, and you are employed by the Etowah County Sheriff's Department.
Oh,
we
here
do
we
not
go.
talk about beach houses.
Oh,
not
that is
man.
out. But the sheriff did say last week, he clarified he does not have one.
He does not have a beach
So,
house.
yeah.
That was a good build up though. I like where you tied that in together.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just
Well, I was thinking it, and I knew it was
out.
coming. I mean, there are things I think, and I know it's going to happen. So I don't ever have to
Cody
say
says,
I'm in
Jameson,
trouble.
when are you grilling some wings?
Oh,
Oh man.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
well,
Come
why
on,
don't we
Cody.
know about that?
I went back to charcoal, let's say about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the pellet grill thing, you know, everybody got it hyped up. And
A little
I
fat,
still
yeah.
have a pellet grill. Love it, especially for long cooks. But the old classic Weber Kettle 22-inch charcoal grill, can't beat it. And I
Walmart,
tell you,
$59.99. I got the green one.
I put out some mean wings on that thing.
Okay.
I do.
Well, I hear it, but Jeff and I are from Missouri. Yeah, show us.
Show us.
I can
So
take
we
care of
need
y'all
to-
some wings.
Also, I have the big pellet grill, right? I use one time. It's one on my back porch for.
Yeah.
He even bought a what's the one that the sheriff's son-in-law, our buddy Nick cooks on.
Nick. Oh, he has a pit boss.
That's what I got.
Yeah. So he got what's the thing? The one that's like a skillet. It's got the
Oh,
flat.
you're talking about a Blackstone.
Yeah, I got a
Blackstone.
Blackstone.
So he
Yeah.
buys a Blackstone. Got it in his mind. I'm gonna get Blackstone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be big. Never took it out the box.
Never took it out.
This
of the
brother
box.
never took it out the
Now you
box.
talk about somebody that can cook. Now you know Nick Hill is our
We
neighbor,
know.
too. He lives around the
Yes.
corner.
He
from
grew
us.
up in this youth group.
in this church, yeah.
He can cook now. I'm telling you, he can.
In the kitchen, in the fire hall, in the woods.
Yes.
And that brother will bake a cake in a minute.
That's
He
what I'm
can
talking
cook.
about.
He's an all-around good cook. I stick to grilling. If it involves inside the house, that's Claire all day. But Nick's just an all-around cook.
He is,
Dude,
man.
he brought a cake in here one night. It was my birthday party
Yeah,
or something?
something like that,
Brought
yeah.
a cake in. And oh my gosh, and I don't eat that stuff, but he.
Sammy Ray, did somebody say wings? That's why your ratings up. That's so funny.
Also, real quick before I forget, we're praying for Michael Bailey and Bailey Bailey. They're expecting a baby and working
Is
on
it
it.
like right-
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just telling
So
you.
when you
we're
say
praying
working
for
on it,
Well-
that's a different show. That's Kapow After Hours.
They had already worked on that.
You never
Work's
know.
been put in.
Jameson, Mayor Taylor wants you to talk about the future Rainbow City projects.
Yeah.
And he says he knows Jerry. I can't believe that. See, this is what we were waiting on today, for you to sit down with us and
Thank
talk
you,
to us.
Joe. Joe, thank you. Joe, thank you.
Wow. Okay.
We've got some really cool things going on.
That you can talk about.
That we can talk about. Some things that we can talk about.
Please.
So we have obviously seen huge projects coming in on our recreational and educational corridor. That's what we call it.
Oh, okay.
So our
That's
rec
fancy.
center, if you go down Lumley Road, you know our rec center is booming. The Challenger Center has broken ground.
That's awesome.
Lots of cool things
Okay.
happening out there. We're really close to making an announcement on our property at the old City Church building. So we had to designate where our ARPA funds were going to go by the end of 2024. And we're going to do a huge remodel out there at that project. There's going to be some really, really cool stuff. We're not quite ready to release all the details on what that's going to be, but it's going to be really, really, really awesome. We're real close to landing some property out towards Still Station Road
Mm-hmm.
for some industrial development, and
Cool.
we've got some large manufacturing announcements coming up too. So we
Let's
got some
move a
really
little
cool
closer
things
in
going on.
town.
Here we go.
Sure,
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in town.
come on.
You know, with
We've got some announcements coming up for some commercial and retail space
yeah,
that's going to fill some, let's just say, large commercial properties
Yeah,
in town. Let's say
yeah.
that.
And I do know that Big Lots has a 62% off sale right
So
now.
that could be a coincidence.
So,
Could those be related?
no, it's not a Chili's, George.
Speaking of George,
That brother right
no
there.
wings from him, no chili from you.
He don't do chili.
I
He
mean,
does
tacos. Sorry.
This brother's a taco king,
Yeah.
and yet I've not eaten any.
No tacos. I'll bring
You
you
ain't
some
had one.
wings now. I'm not just
So
gonna say
I'm for that, but so what projects going on can't you talk about right now?
Well, we've got, I mean, the rec center, Challenger Center are the two biggest things. Obviously, like you said, you know, Big Lots is going out.
What?
The Still Station Road property I'm telling you about.
Okay.
So that's going to be real huge for industrial development. Y'all know about our water projects that are going on with the mega site.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really close out there. Rainbow City's been a huge partner with the county.
No
on
doubt.
Everything.
That working
going on out
relationship
there.
with the county commission
Oh, yeah.
and with every city. I mean, they've really.
Well, it's just a prime example of how working together you can do so much more, you know. And I think that when you saw the partnership come together with the city and the county is when you really saw all that work get expedited. And that's not true just with projects like that, but you take even the sheriff's office and Rainbow City into account. You know, Mayor Taylor and Sheriff Horton have worked hand in hand together on a ton of the stuff that we have coming up.
Sure.
ICE, all these different things, housing inmates, being a partner and an advocate for the sheriff's office there. And I really in a very unique situation being on council and being employed at the sheriff's office. And Rainbow City and the sheriff's office, in my opinion, really have worked together better than anyone. So you take that example, and then you take Rainbow City and the county with what we're talking about with industrial and commercial development. and look at how much more happens when the leaders in these communities work together.
Preach that.
Yep.
That's good stuff. So exactly what's coming to that restaurant? I just don't want anything to mess up mine and Joe's spot right at the Union Jacks.
Yeah.
You know, it may be harder to get in there really soon.
Let me clarify. Nothing is messing up Union Jack.
I just mean it's going to be so popular down that way. Traffic's going to be a little tougher to get to my spot.
You can make it in and out though.
I can because I got a way figured out.
Now, what I will say though is, if there's only one parking spot available down, now this is where we could run into an issue.
Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
If there's only one parking spot available, because we get so busy down there, and Joe only has one spot to park in, we know he can't make it inside the lines. So is he hitting your car? Is he hitting somebody else's?
That brother's going to park right up at the door of Union Jacks.
Yeah, I mean, yes, because he is.
Joe Taylor.
It's a big deal.
Every mayor does that, though. I was parking in Atala. And
Larry
and,
be up on the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm parked there,
Yep.
the last parking spot. And this brother just comes right up on the sidewalk.
He don't care.
He's not walking. So I guess it's all of y'all.
VIP, everything.
Well, to be fair, you know, he did step off the curb and break his ankle.
That's a fair assessment, I guess.
I'm just saying.
He will walk with a cane, though.
So we'll talk about what you can't talk about after the show during our post-council show. Is what we're.
So you're saying that the Big Lot sign can be covered up coming soon?
It could be.
Huh.
It could be.
So
Anything's possible.
Out parcel.
Interesting. Well, you going scriptural? I mean, you gonna use it out of context like most people do. But okay.
Anything. I go to Church of the Highlands.
Sure. That brother's taking Jeremiah 29,
29:11
out of context.
It's been taken out of context so long. If you actually use it in context, everybody thinks you're lying about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those scriptures.
Man, oh man.
So
Chip says I'll park out in the lot.
He just parks because out there, to be honest with you, you don't know where you can park, where you can drive in that shopping center.
You better be careful. Paul Airliners will citizen arrest you. He's out of jurisdiction, but he stopped his truck and tried to beat my wife up one day. I mean,
he walked over, but he limped back.
He sure did.
Paul
Sorry about that, Paul.
We got you, dog. God, this show.
You ever know somebody's such a good, he's not a barber. Paul, you're a beautician.
Hey, straight up.
Paul, straight up beautician. I mean, got the baldest head in the world. You just had fabulous hair.
World.
But he can cut some hair, though. I mean, Paul,
he gave both my kids their first haircut.
He cut some,
intentionally, because I wanted Paul to be the guy to do it.
Isn't that something?
And I don't think my son's about to get a haircut since.
No, he hasn't. Speak about a twin. That's your twin.
Oh, man. He's a good boy, though. He's a good boy. What else got going on we can talk about and make you feel uncomfortable with? So, is it true the Church of the Highlands is going to start building a room for exorcisms like the Catholic Church?
It's not at our campus. It's at a different campus.
It's a Grant Mills.
They want it to be more centralized.
That was not called the Lodge. That's called the...
Sorry, the Lodge. You got to bring the Lodge up, man.
I do like the Lodge. I think it's
gorgeous. Have you been there? Have you been to the Lodge?
I have not been to the Lodge.
Well, we just look on the website, man. I'm trying to book a room for vacation.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I have not been to the Lodge.
Dude, it is nice, but
it's awesome.
Maybe down in Demopolis is where they'll do that.
Nope.
So. Sorry.
My brother-in-law, you do it at your campus. Campus pastor.
He's a campus pastor. Because I can't get this campus pastor on the phone. Mm-hmm. I had talked to him since he tried to come sell a car, and I wouldn't.
Which one?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He wanted a huge discount. Huge discount on the car. I said, if
this business on the street, what are you doing?
Huge discount on the car. And here's what I said. Remember the times you wouldn't call me back? That you wouldn't even pick up the phone and call me? Remember those times?
Does Paul do your hair?
No discount for you.
I mean, you got the...
He got a big old
it's got
going.
quaff. I mean,
no,
his
hair's right.
I ain't going to lie about it.
His hair. Nicest guy in the world, too, by the way.
Oh, man.
Which makes it worse.
He's such a great campus pastor, too. He really is.
Let's talk about that, because we had some people, hey, what do they actually do? Those are the people that do the pastoral care of the church, right? Go ahead, talk about it.
So Mark Price is our campus pastor at Gadsden. Phenomenal man. And he's greatly supported by his wife, Gina. So Gina is very involved in Highlands Kids. They have a daughter, Emily Ann, that is a senior now at Gadsden City. Just great family. But yes, our campus pastor is the way Church of the Highlands does it.
The campus pastor's kid doesn't go to a Christian school.
No.
Interesting.
Gadsden City. Great girl too.
You see what Randy said?
What'd you say?
Randy said Paul does my hair. Randy Weiss.
Man.
Randy Weiss goes to a beautician.
Well, no, let's not do Paul that way. Let's not do Paul that way. We're gonna put that on Paul.
We have to.
Oh
we have
man,
to.
we
It's
can't,
it's like signing your painting, right?
we can't put that on Paul. I can't do Paul like that.
Ooh.
But no, they do all the pastoral care
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Super nice guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, great at what he does. They lead all of our services. So Highlands is very, very good about every service ends with an open invitation to accept the Lord.
Heck yeah.
And so campus pastors are responsible for all that kind of stuff. And then all the pastoral care stuff. So like when my parents' house burned down, first people there, all that kind of stuff. They're the boots on the ground, and they're really the ones who make sure that all that stuff is done right.
Yeah.
And then obviously they oversee all the rest of the staff at that campus.
What cracks me up is people get so mad. They were talking about these churches, and you and I brought it out. Chris can't do. He can't. He was going to visit. Chris ain't got time. When you get a church of 100, you can't visit the hospital for all your people.
No, you can't.
That's why you have small groups.
You put the right people in the right places.
Exactly. But
and they do a really good job with their campus pastors, making sure they empower the right people.
yeah. Well, I can tell you for a fact. I know the class individual my brother-in-law is, and David is one of the most fantastic men I've ever met. And to put up with Nita, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I'm not.
But he's a great guy. So if you got that kind of guy sold,
Oh
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about Highlands too, is like it's such a diverse crowd, like there's people from all different backgrounds and denominations and age
Cities.
groups and cities,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean it's really a cool thing, to have that, because I mean I never grew up outside of a Baptist church ever growing up. I mean at all.
So you're anointed.
You literally just said, I'm
Anointed.
going to stretch this thing
Yeah.
as far as I can stretch
So
it.
you learn a lot, because of that. It's just a really cool thing, though, to see all those people from all those different backgrounds come together as one church family.
That's cool.
It's a really
yeah.
cool thing.
Again, my only serious complaint with the Church of the Highlands, I've said this openly. Everyone knows I kid about it. We love so many people that go there. You guys do a lot of great things. But, my wife sends me to get breakfast. And your service is letting out.
Oh, yeah.
And the people do not let you turn in. You just came from a God-anointed service.
So you're trying to get the Jacks.
And you won't let nobody turn in?
You're trying to get the Jacks.
Yes. Yeah.
Just saying.
Maybe Waffle House to go would be a little bit more.
No, it's
appropriate.
20% extra, man. I can't do it. I can't do
It's
it.
true.
If that was in Rainbow City, I would
Then-
spend the
then-
money because
then
my
we can
money
see
stays
it.
in Rainbow City.
That's it.
So, question here: who is your favorite city council member? If you had to pick your favorite city council member, other than yourself,
Anita, easily.
hands down, that's fair.
I mean, obviously,
Sorry,
he skipped
Jeff.
straight over the
Yeah,
two guys that just commented.
I'm sorry.
He went right over Randy and right
I'm
over
going to tell
Jeff.
y'all, though, they would say the same thing.
What's up, Tony?
Anita, she
I'm
keeps,
sure
she
they
keeps us rock solid. She does.
Let's take her out of the equation because she's kind of the pope, if you will, of the city council.
The Pope of the city. She is our longest serving member. And I don't know what we'd do without her. Seriously. 'Cause
That's
you
what
gotta
Joe
think,
said too.
Well, when we came in, we're all brand new, and she's the only person that's been there. We're like, hey, tell us what we're supposed to do here. Oh,
She'll tell you.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Yeah, she's
So is
awesome.
Joe going to install the stack, and then when he's elected again, the white smoke comes? Or
He will.
Is that?
I think
is
so.
that- He will.
Here's the problem with that. Did you know the first Jeff said he's crushed? He thought for sure he'd be your
Yeah,
guy.
Jeff gets his hopes up sometimes.
Another guy's
Jeff,
got good
Jeff,
hair.
you have to humble Jeff now. You got to humble Jeff.
Jeff.
You got to humble him a little bit.
Wow.
Trust me, I know all about trying to do that.
Y'all know he was the mayor pro tem.
Oh, he told me.
He is the mayor pro tem.
Yeah, he told us
y'all
on the
last
show.
night. He was the mayor.
I saw that.
Joe was gone. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
You mean the honorable
Jeff's
Prince.
a big deal. So, like, especially after a night like last night, you got to let him know where he's at.
I will say that it moved quickly and efficiently.
It did.
It was a well organized meeting.
It was very smooth.
So you're talking about humble him. I think we humbled him a few months ago when I literally gave him credit for something that Jeff Little was doing.
Did he correct you?
Slowly.
Afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Kind of later on
See,
in the
that's
comments.
What, that's what I'm talking about.
Really taking care of, talking about
Yeah,
it.
he'll just go with it.
But what threw it off when he said when he was preaching at North Glencoe Baptist, Jeff's like, I don't
Making
think
the
it's on
announcement
me.
or something, yeah. I was like,
That's
crap,
so-
I'm saying the wrong name.
That's another good Jeff. Jeff Little, man,
Yeah,
is
fantastic.
fantastic. Another city council. He's city council in Glencoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what can we expect
fun.
from you? Obviously, you're running again, right, for
Yeah,
city
I
council?
do intend to run for re-election. So I intend to qualify in June. I intend to run again in August. You hear this all the time, but we have so much going on right now that needs to be seen to completion.
Sure.
And I feel like our unified council works extremely well together. So if you think about going back to the educational corridor, but the rec center, the Challenger Center, the widening of Highway 411.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Mhm.
Because, I live in Sherwood Knowles. I need that turning lane bad. All these different things, Church Road expansion, all this stuff. We're so close to seeing all this interconnectivity, right? And our group, in my opinion, has done so well working together to see all these things happen.
I don't disagree.
So there is a lot, obviously, of new stuff on the horizon with the mega side and all these other great things that are coming up. But really just seeing to completion all of the things that we've started. I think that's where our focus is right now. And then, obviously, just continuing to be fiscally responsible.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy to think about how much economic growth Rainbow City has seen. And obviously, you have to spend money to make money.
Sure.
And even considering that, our budget is so healthy. We really keep our city in an excellent financial position. And so just continuing to do that type of good work and being a good steward of those
Mhm.
resources that we're given.
That's amazing to me that a city can inherit. Not inherit, but y'all inherited a good
we can say
situation.
inherit, yeah.
You inherited a good situation,
Absolutely.
and it's been made better.
Absolutely.
But you've made the purchases you need to make. You've gone out and got different bonds that you needed to get.
Mhm.
But you've still remained fiscally responsible.
Absolutely.
And you haven't spent the city into oblivion
No, we have not.
just because you wanted to be fancy.
And we're not going to.
Right.
Because we have a responsibility not to. And we will say inherit because
Sure you did.
Terry John Calhoun and the
Mhm.
previous council
Yeah.
left us in an excellent
Sure.
situation, and there was a great group of people that left us in that situation, and we do not take that for granted. We actually talk about that more than most people probably
Mhm.
would even begin to imagine, because we know that we couldn't do what we've done if it had not been for them being there before us.
When your mayor is bringing in a
So-
brown bag lunch every single day, you know that brother's saving
He
money.
ain't spending no money. He's saving.
No, and drove the same. We call it the purple peanut. That's what I
So
call it.
funny.
The same city vehicle.
So what is your campaign slogan?
Campaign slogan. Well, last time it was raised right. So,
But now since you're not a Baptist church anymore, I don't know. You can use
I
that.
don't know. We're gonna have to come up with something new. I'm thinking about
Police
total,
over fire?
Total redesign. I don't know about police over fire. Too controversial.
Not according to Chief of Police. It's not.
Well, he's also not an elected official.
Wow.
So,
Touche.
just saying, Camp.
That's so
Well,
funny.
the most important person liked him, I guess.
Yes, that's
Right.
exactly right.
Man, you put your
Also raised right.
you
Camp.
you put your no
You talking
question.
about it, absolutely.
Man, you just put your son, wife, and Millie on that campaign poster.
Oh,
That's it.
People coming from Gadsden to vote for you. Just
It
to,
just says Millie says vote for Dad.
They are my better half. I can tell you that for sure, without any doubt at all.
bro. Thank you so much for
Yes.
being with us
How
today,
fun.
man. We've absolutely enjoyed it. Thanks to the mayor for being out of town.
Yes.
Yes,
You can be out of town
hey,
in 2
stay.
weeks if you want.
Stay.
Yeah,
We
we
got
got
it
it
here.
covered.
We-
The
we-
Honorable Jeff Prince has it handled. You ain't got to worry
Yes.
about it.
We took Rachel to dinner last night with us, and we had more fun anyway.
No question.
Just throwing that out there.
Even more fun than when Joe pays. Oh, she had his credit card. No, don't even worry about it.
No,
You're good,
no,
Joe.
I took care of Rachel last night.
Look at you,
I did.
man.
I took
Stepping
care of
up.
Rachel.
My guy. My guy.
That's how you do it.
Well done, Jonathan Horton. You got a good one.
All right. Stay close. Stay clean. Hey, Mayor Taylor, get back safe.